Hi, this is Lynn, and today we're talking about MACD. This is a beginner's guide to MACD. Whether you've used it for a while or you're brand new, you'll learn a lot in this video. I've been investing and trading, swing trading, and more recently, more day trading because the market's so hot, for 30 years. And today I plan to share with you great detail about why I use MACD, why many traders use MACD, and why it will really help you grab big profits. So let's look now at a stock chart with MACD, and I'll talk to you about the settings, the default settings you'll want to use, and how you can use MACD to make more profits. Again, remember that day trading is highly risky, and about 80% of traders, whether they're day traders or swing traders, lose money. So make sure and start in a simulator and learn how to use these indicators. Over time, you'll find it easier and easier and understand more. So I plan a whole series here where you'll learn more tips and tricks for using MACD to make you more profits. So let's dive right in and look at MACD on SERV, Serve Robotics stock. So first of all, MACD is a trend following indicator, and it's very, very simple to use, and that's why so many traders use it for buy and sell signals. Now I use Charles Schwab's Thinkorswim. I know many traders use that. So you can see here, first of all, in a stock, I have two things. This is when the day breaks for trading at 9:30 Eastern time. These are 1 minute candles. I also use it for 1 minute and 5 minute candles when I'm day trading. On this, I have the volume weighted average price indicator, which is the red dotted line. I have the 9 EMA, which is a yellow line. The blue line is a 20 EMA, and then the 200 exponential moving average is the long dotted orange line. Below that, I have another indicator, which is my volume bar that shows how much volume is being traded at that moment. And below that is the MACD. So the MACD, you can see, gives you clear signals here of when the stock is trending lower. We can see that on our candlesticks. The candlesticks here show where it opened and where it closed, and the high that it went to, which wasn't much higher than the top. And then the next candle shows a downward movement with the red candle, and even further downward movement. So what I tend to do is I look at when the MACD pops up. So here it just popped up, started popping up, didn't quite make it, and then it pulled back. You can see here with the histogram, which is the red and green bars here that look like volume bars too, shows which way it's going, as well as your MACD line. So you have your MACD line and the signal line. So the MACD line shows you when the price is moving higher, and the signal line will also show you movement of the price. The interesting thing is the MACD line won't go up as high as the chart candlesticks actually go, because this is mainly showing the distance between these two EMAs, which we'll talk about here in a moment and the importance of that. But when I'm trading, I look at specifically when the MACD line pops above the signal line, as you see here, and specifically, I tend to look for the second green bar up before I get into it, because there's a lot of false breakouts right now, especially right at 9:30. So I want to feel a little bit more satisfaction. As I mentioned, day trading is really risky, so I like to put, some guardrails around that. But what I generally do is I also wait for the stock to get above the 9 EMA, to cross over the 20 EMA, the VWAP, and the 200 EMA. But I'll talk about that in another video you'll want to learn about, where I talk about using MACD with other indicators and how, again, it helps you be more successful. So here you can see, as the MACD line pops up, we're still here below the VWAP, which means that the bears are still in control of the stock. But when it pops above it, that's a time I look at taking a trade, and you can see it's pulling up. I also look for these bars in the histogram to get a darker color, because when that happens, it shows that these two EMAs are not pulling apart from each other as quickly, and the price could be slowing down. But you can see it is still creeping up. There is still a distance here where you have the MACD line above the signal line. Here you have a huge volume bar where the price went way up, but then you want to also be watching your candlesticks, because when that turns red, that's a hammer. That's a hammer candlestick, and that means price is reversing. So you can see that pulling down. And here it warns you that it's really in for a big pullback when the MACD line crosses over the signal line. And you can see the histogram showing it diving down further. It's interesting to look at this now, but it's much more difficult in live trading because things move really quickly. So I'll share a little bit with you about how to add the MACD to your chart and then give you some live trading examples. So let's look a little bit more about adding MACD to your chart. So how you would do that with Thinkorswim, you look at a chart and you go to the little Edit Studies icon here at the top that looks like a vial. And if you click that, you can see the studies that I have added, which also includes the MACD. Now, I tend to use the same MACD settings that everybody else uses because when I'm trading, I want to be seeing the same thing that other day traders or swing traders on the whole are watching. Most of them don't change their settings, so I keep it as is also. You could change its colors, but here we go in Thinkorswim, you can see that there's the 12, the 26, and the 9. So how to add it is when you go here to studies, you can actually scroll down to the M, look for MACD, and click and add that, and it will pop it right onto the right-hand side here. Then you can click the little gear icon, and you can see that the fast length is 12, the slow length is 26, and the MACD length is 9. So that's basically the signal line. You can see my colors here. I've got it colored blue. So again, you want to have the fast length set at 12, the slow length set at 26, the MACD length set at 9, and you want to have the average type set at exponential, which is what everybody else is using. Show breakout signals, no, because you need to learn that on your own. Who knows how accurate those are. And you can change this to be thicker or wider styles, but I just leave that as a default. You can change your colors if you want. And Thinkorswim, then you need to click apply it to your chart and then OK. And if you have multiple charts, like I have a side-by-side 1-minute chart normally and a 5-minute chart, you need to set up the MACD for each one if you want it on both of the charts. So we're looking at it again. You look at that MACD line as signaling you when you can think about when one of the safer times is to get into a stock. And then it signals when it's going to dip down to get out of a stock. But hopefully by then, in this particular instance, you would already be out when you'd see those red, the downward trend with those candlesticks. But it's another way to know that you are in a hard downtrend. So now let's look at a live trading example. So in this example, we can see serve, and I have Thinkorswim set up so that I can see my level 2, which is really key. I always pay very close attention to level 2, and my time and sales on the left. And I have a video on exactly how to read those, which I will link at the end of this one. And also, I have open the live news on serve from within Thinkorswim also, and it tells you on this particular day what was going on with the stock. So the news originally in July had been collaboration with NVIDIA. On this particular day in August, it was about a collaboration with Shake Shack. So here we are right at the open, and I'm going to press play, and we'll be able to watch down here below what exactly is happening with the MACD. So this is the 1-minute chart on the left, and you can see here the 1M, and on the right-hand side is the 5-minute chart. And what I do is I have levels drawn out for where the stock was in the past, highs in the past, and then a recent high. Obviously it popped up pre-market right there, and I marked that in Thinkorswim, and I have it set up so that it lists the price as well, so I can pay close attention, because those can act as resistance. When the market is opening, you can see right now that the MACD has been down, and the red histogram right here. And right now it popped open right on the open, and I tend to wait for a second candle before jumping in, because I mentioned before it can pop right back down again on that second candle. It can on any candle, but it's been happening a lot lately. And I'm also going to be paying attention to this resistance as well as the MACD. But you can see the MACD line, that blue line, starting to pop up. So let's play this video of live trading and see what happens. You can see right here at 1409, it's popped up to 1470. It's finding some resistance right here, 14.3, not much actually. And you can see the histogram You can see the MACD green line popping up, and now we're going to the second. That's where I usually pop in for a trade nowadays, but I pay attention to the candles. It would have been a great time to buy on that little pullback right there, and to see it pop up again. You do have to be careful because sometimes these pullbacks can be pretty tough. So I usually try to keep my stops within 5 to 10 cents to pop out. So this was a really big pullback. You could see the candle here, and you can see the MACD pulling back down. And right now it's plunged below VWAP, which is really scary. So it's gone all the way from almost $14.30 down to $13.40. So I look for it to pop above VWAP again, showing that the buyers are still in control at the moment. But I'll speed this up for you here a little bit, dragging it along. I'll put it on double speed. And you can see now the candle's starting to pop up. And I usually wait for that to pop above the 9 EMA, the yellow 9 EMA, and the 20 EMA. So I'll speed this up even more. You can see the orders flowing through right here on the time and sales, and the difference in the bid and ask, it's almost exactly the same. It's just a cent or two difference. But here you can see the stock is pulling back, and now the MACD is plunging downward. We're looking for a turnaround in this stock, and you'll see soon how the MACD would have helped you along with your other indicators in making money on this particular day. So this would have been quite a big loss if you plunged right in on this second one till that was done. You could, like I mentioned, you could hop right out when you could see it pulling back. But right now we're looking for that MACD to turn around, so I'll speed this up a little bit more. And it's going down some more, down below the 200. Now it's popping above the 200 EMA, which is usually a positive sign. We'll see what's going on with the MACD. The MACD is down here. You can see me moving my cursor around in that live trading. And it just popped above and pulled back again. And it wasn't actually looking too good on this day at that point. So I decided to switch to another stock, BURU. Looking at FinViz, I could see that it was popping up quite quickly. And I'll show you that on another video, how I watch about 15 or 20 stocks at once on FinViz, and you can show me their charts, and I can see right away when they're popping back up. So this was taking a little time, and I was getting kind of bored. So what I did was I popped over to BURU. And you can see here when I popped into it, the MACD was already up. It was up 3 bars, and the MACD had crossed over. Made a purchase there. You could hear the little click. I'm again watching the MACD. The histogram still up, and the MACD line is up. So we're going to be moving that. I'm speeding that up for you, and it's popped back up. So that would have been a great place to make a little buy. Again, this is just used in tandem with some other indicators, and I look real closely at level 2 for orders coming in over here on the right. A lot of green. And I set a sale point on the trading ladder on the right, and you can see the MACD now is still showing up right here, and the 5-minute MACD is starting to cross over. I actually love it the most when the MACD 1 minute matches the MACD 5-minute chart. So here you can see it's pulling back more, but then the MACD is still open, and we're waiting to see if it's going to pop up again. And here we go. There's a big pop, and you could see that. I'll back that up just a little bit. You could see that with a flood of orders coming through on time and sales and a flurry of movement. And then it pops right up, and price moves really, really quickly there. So that was a great win, and I just sold some shares right at the top there. Of course, it's pretty impossible to capture the entire move, but BURU was great. I just bought some more, hoping that it will move up some more at this point. The MACD is still open, and I'll just move this along. I've set a sell point to the right on the ladder, and it hit that, so now I'm out of that stock, and it's still moving up. You can see the volume bars here, and the MACD line going, still whizzing up, and now the 5-minute agrees with it, and they're both up. So a little bit of a pullback. It's a great time to make a buy, which I did right there. And then it pops up some more, and I've set a limit again, selling 4 shares up at You can see I have it set for 2.8, and it sold really quickly and then dove down. It popped up and then dove back down, but the MACD is still open. And the 5, you can see the nice thing when the 1 minute and the 5 agree, there's a lot of traders that trade on the 5 minute versus the 1 minute. I usually go for short scalps, so I trade 1 minute to 4 minutes. I have an average of 3 minutes on my buys. I look out for that. So right now we've got a little bit of a pullback going on, but what I like is that the 5 minute is quite a bit above VWAP and the 9 and 20 EMAs. And so it might be pulling back to the yellow EMA. Now this can be really dangerous, but I tend to make some buys with it as it pulls back before it pops up. So right here again, the EMA is open, and something to watch out for when the colors in the histogram get kind of a darker green. That can mean that it's pulling back some, but we're still looking good at the moment. I'll speed this up again a little bit more. We've got a little pullback, and that would have been a great time to buy if, when you learn a little bit more about this and you feel confident, you've got to be able to hit the trigger real fast if it goes the wrong way. When you buy here on a pullback, I like to sell again, and when it pullbacks 5 cents from that, but I'm hoping that it will pop back up. And you can see here now it is, although the MACD is starting to pull back some, I'm looking to make a short profit there, and you can see it popping right up. Be a great way to make another 20-30 cents on the trade. And now it popped below the 9 EMA, and you can see right down here that the MACD line is crossing over, so that doesn't bode really good. That's kind of a negative signal for the stock, a negative on the 5 minute chart as well. So we'll watch here, but it did decide to pop up a little bit, but I'm not taking a trade on this because the MACD line is now diving down, so it would keep you out of this big pullback at the moment. And you can see the same thing on the 5 minute chart. It's got, but it hasn't, it's kind of pulling over to the right, flattening out. Stock tries to start making a recovery, but you have got that MACD signal line down, so we're staying out of that stock. I hope you learned some today about how fantastic the MACD can help you, whether you trade on the 1 minute timeline, the 5 minute timeline, both like I do, or swing trading. It can help keep you, when you use it with other indicators, out of big crashes or big pullbacks in a stock. It's another indicator to watch. But if you're day trading, please do learn to use the level 2 and time and sales. That's the best way to know when a flood of buyers are coming in. It's the only live indicator that shows you second by second what is going on, versus a trend following indicator like the MACD, as helpful as it is. Let me know if you enjoyed this video by giving a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. And while you're at it, subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this video. Any questions you have, I'm happy to answer them. I always answer all the questions on my channel. And now go here to view the next video in the series, as well as that video on using the level 2 in time and sales.